Hi, it's O.T. Carlson here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a movie that details the early years of the American space program, one that's become a personal favorite of mine over the years. The movie I'm talking about is The Right Stuff, and this was released as a Digibook Blu-ray package back in 2013. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinion. Great cover art there with the Mercury 7 together, and of course the title of the film, spine of the package. Back cover's got Chuck Yeager's F-104. Inside the front cover we have a Blu-ray disc that has the feature film on it. Under there we've got artwork of some of the NASA engineers and scientists. In the back we have a standard def DVD disc that includes the bonus features. This is identical to the DVD that came with the DVD release of the film a few years ago. And there you got a certain crash scene in the film depicted. And then we have our actual Digibook in the middle of the package. And this has some pretty cool essays, photos, info on the cast and crew. Not going to go through every single page here, but there is some nice stuff to check out. This film, of course, was produced by Robert Chartoff and Irwin Winkler, probably best known for producing the Rocky films. And the musical score was by Bill Conti, who is the guy that scored most of the Rocky films. And the film is based on a book by Tom Wolfe. The Right Stuff, of course, tells the story of America's first astronauts. This is a time when everyone's trying to get into space, and eventually, of course, America sets out on their crusade to reach the moon by the end of the 1960s. But of course, the Russians are also launching their own spacecraft. President Eisenhower wants to get test pilots into the program with NASA so they can start competing with the Russians and get everything they need to do in space, with the belief that whoever controls space will one day control whatever goes on in the world. And of course, there's all kinds of interactions between the characters here. I mean, of course, we have our Mercury 7 astronauts, but then we have, characters like their wives as well, and the NASA engineers and scientists. And one thing that really surprised me about this movie is, even though it's a true story about some great American heroes, it's actually quite funny at times. I mean, there's times where this movie is actually funnier than a lot of dedicated comedies. And despite this, it does take the space program and its subject matter very seriously. Now, the historical accuracy of certain aspects of this film has been called into question over the years. I'm not going to get into that here, but it is a beautifully made, beautifully directed film that certainly fleshes out its subject matter. It runs over 3 hours in length, but despite this, it is never boring. And this is because of the great writing, the great performances from the cast, which includes the likes of Ed Harris playing John Glenn. And then you have actors like Dennis Quaid. In supporting roles, you even have people like Harry Shearer and Jeff Goldblum. So it's certainly an all-star cast, and everyone plays their role great. As someone who's always been enthusiastic about learning about history, American history, and of course the American space program, this movie is a bit of a revelation. There's a variety of special effects that are used throughout the film, and everything works exceptionally well. I can give this film my absolute highest recommendation. This Blu-ray disc, again, even though it's a decade old now, it actually still looks very good. A lot of this movie was shot to resemble nostalgic storytelling and the look of the era, so it's not going to be a title that's like razor sharp. And there are some sequences of stock footage and certain scenes that are shot to look like stock footage. Those understandably are not going to look as good as the rest of the film, but that's how they're meant to look, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. It is great picture quality overall, and I don't think fans will be disappointed. Although I would like to see this get a 4K release with HDR in the future. I think that could give it that little extra push, even if it's sourced from this same master. The DVD disc included has several of the archival bonus features, so certainly plenty there you'll want to check out if you're a fan of the movie. The Right Stuff is an absolutely fantastic movie, one of the greatest movies ever made about the American space program. And this Digibook package has a lot of great photos and essays. That DVD disc has plenty of bonus features, and the picture quality is great, so you absolutely can't go wrong with this release if you can track it down. And I believe there was a later non-Digibook release that came out that would probably be easier to find. How about you? Were you a fan of The Right Stuff? Do you think it's one of the best movies ever made on the American space program? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm O.T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.